Hello there, and welcome back to week 2 of the Gut Health Cooking Program. I hope you've been enjoying the meals that you prepared in your last session, and I'm sure you also are appreciating the convenience of just being able to pull it out of the fridge during your busy lifestyle. So now we're going to move straight on to another 5 different recipes. Again, a variety of things which are all designed to enable your internal health to regenerate and get better. Okay, let's cook.
Okay, let's get started with cutting up the potatoes. It helps if you wash them first so they're not totally covered in dirt. And we're just going to cut them across into slices approximately a finger thick or like a thumb thick, and then slice them across to make chips. And then what you want to do is season them well with salt and toss them, and then add oil, and that helps the salt to be distributed evenly before you add the oil. Sometimes if you do it, otherwise this salt kind of clumps together. And then after tossing, we're going to bake it on a tray lined with parchment paper for approximately 35-40 minutes. And with that in the oven, the next thing we do is very easy. We're just simply going to bake the sweet potatoes in the skin. So make sure you put them on parchment paper as well, because what tends to happen as they cook is the sugars do kind of ooze out and it makes the tray very hard to clean. And then the next step is just to get the wild rice on to cook. And that just very simply means covering fully with water and putting on to simmer. When it is on the stove, we don't want to boil it like crazy, we do just want to keep it a rough simmer. And to take advantage of the space in the oven, we just have chicken thighs, which we are seasoning with a mixture of spices, ground coriander and paprika. Obviously add salt and a little bit of oil, and that again will go on a tray with parchment paper and in the oven. And having all these things in straight away just means you already have things cooking before we start chopping up. And that's what making the most of your time in the kitchen is about, and what will allow you to make multiple dishes quickly. Okay, so moving on to the vegetable preparation. With the asparagus, we cut off the bottom third. It tends to be too woody and crunchy to eat. And then when we peel it, we just peel it down from where our fingers are holding the vegetable. And you don't want to be too aggressive as you peel down, otherwise you take too much off. We're just removing the outer skin, and it really does make a huge difference. Now we're going to chop up our onion and garlic. As you can see, if you're unsure of how to chop an onion, please check the basic recipes. So to prepare the broccoli, assuming you have pieces of longer stems, you can just cut off the bottom edge, but do keep as much on as is possible and that you enjoy to eat, because there's a huge amount of nutrition in the actual stem. And I actually like to make a dish just with the stem sometimes when I have lots extra. So I cut them into nice long florets as shown here, and then place them on a tray with the asparagus, so then that's all together. The next vegetable prep task is topping and tailing green beans. I find it easy just to have everything all next to each other, so you can just be fast about it. You don't waste too much time picking them up, putting them down. Speed really is the name of the game, so you don't lose too much time doing unnecessary things. Okay, now things in the oven should start to be getting ready, so we're just getting prepared with the next things that will go in the oven. I've just got my haddock fillets here, and I'm seasoning with turmeric, salt, and then I'll just use some oil just to help that to kind of blend in, and just a very light rub. It just helps it to mix evenly, and the salt will penetrate nicely. So back onto the chopping the vegetable prep, we'll just have some onions to slice up. It's better to wash them when they're whole and then drain and then slice, because if you wash them when they are sliced, they absorb so much water, it makes frying them, it doesn't give you the same result. And we're just slicing them through. And then we're just slicing them through until it looks like this. Okay, so for the kale, we first of all remove the leaves from the stem, apart from the top part where the stem is not so thick, but it's just easy just to rip it off and grab it really, because it's so sturdy that you don't have to worry about bruising it. And then we're just going to go for a nice fine slice through it. And you can check the fundamentals if you're unsure about how to hold a knife and slice efficiently. Whereas we could definitely have a better shot here. There should be more switching in here for sure. Okay, so Brussels sprouts, we just simply cut them in half and then slice them through. This is going to be for a salad, so it's not going to be cooked, so that just is important that we make them as thin as possible, so when they are dressed it allows them to actually cook down in the acidity of the lemon juice in the dressing, which makes it more enjoyable to eat. Okay, so now we are on to making our beef keftas. We're adding salt, paprika, small amount of chili as your preference dictates, cumin and coriander, and also fresh coriander as well if you have it. And then when that's in, this is going to mix that in together nicely, and then this gets shaped into sausage shapes is the best term to use it, but I like to start by forming them into balls so I know exactly how many pieces I'm going to make. And if you're unsure of the ball size, make one single piece and shape it, and then evaluate how many balls that will require. And usually just mixing between your hands, kind of squeezing and rolling it. Now we're going to move on to making our turkey meatballs, and we're going to add in our onion and garlic and spices, and we're just going to mix that through so it's evenly distributed. And you'll find that the ground turkey is a lot stickier than ground beef, for example, so it might just take a few more times to mix it together. Now, when we shape our meatballs, it's beneficial to have your hands be a tiny bit wet so it stops the meat from sticking to your hands, because then that just becomes a big mess. So don't worry about making them too perfect. We're just looking for these rough shapes, because as they cook, that's when they will start to firm up. As long as they taste good, that's really what we're going for. So make sure you clean down after you do the turkey, and then we're going to move on to the beef kemas. Okay, now we're just going to prepare the onion and ginger for the meatballs. So we're just cutting across the onion and doing rough slices and just putting it aside so it's ready. Really, the keys to doing any meal prep efficiently is just having everything ready to go to cook at the same time. Okay, so once you've checked everything in the oven, if things are ready, obviously take them out. If they aren't, then you need to just adjust. We should have put the fish in by now. There should have been space. So make sure the fish is in there cooking. And we can see that the rice is almost ready. And then we can start to cook off the turkey meatballs. So in a hot pan with a small amount of oil, we're just going to add them in and just start to fry them. And when they're brown, then we can just turn them. We don't need to get brown on every single side, but we can do it on 2 sides. And then with the first batch done, we can just move on to the second and keep those cooking. Always add salt after you add something to the pan, even if you added seasoning in the mix. Okay, with the turkey and keftas seared off, we're going to just check everything in the oven. Make sure the sweet potatoes are cooking down nicely. It should be slightly squeezy to the touch. So we're going to cook down the sliced onions, garlic and ginger until it's nicely caramelized. You can add turmeric and cumin. And once that's looking cooked down and slightly softened, then we can add our coconut milk in. And as this starts to thicken and reduce down, then we can add the meatballs back into it. And then we're going to finish the cooking in the sauce. So the last few things to start cooking are the mushrooms for the salad. They just take a quick fry in the pan and then take them out. And the same with the chickpeas, they should be just a quick fry. For the asparagus, make sure the water is boiling and well salted. It takes approximately 2 minutes for them to become tender. So right now we're kind of finishing off everything. It should be your frying for chickpeas, and we're just cooking the green vegetables while the curry is cooking down. And once the turkey meatballs are firm, that's typically the sign that they're cooked. If you're unsure, take one out, cut it in half. You'll be able to see very easily if it's cooked or not. And then finally, we have to blanch off the broccoli. We can throw that in and cook it until it's tender. And then we can just check that everything in the oven is cooked, so we can pull it out. The keftas, when you see a lot of fat come out of them, that's when they're ready. The chicken thighs should also be ready. And just make sure you have everything finished before we start to place up. And just take a minute just to clean down your cooking area so you're working in a tidy, organized fashion. It should be looking similar to this, with everything on the side, strained off on a tray or just sitting in a pan ready to place up. Okay, to start placing up, we are going to use turkey meatball curry first, and that just involves putting wild rice, green beans, and then putting approximately 4 or 5 meatballs in each. Then we're going to do the fish and chips. We can put our wedges, chips, fries, whatever you call them, in the bottom. And then with the fish on top, and then we have the shaved Brussels sprout salad as well. We've already dressed this with a small amount of lemon juice, so it can just start to cook down, so it'll be like a lovely kind of crunchy slaw. And then we can put the fish on the top. So for the sweet potato, we just peel it and then we can chop it into medium-sized pieces and then divide it equally between the containers that we have. And we can add in our chopped broccoli and then chicken thigh on top. And for our kale salad, we're just adding in the chopped sliced kale, cooked asparagus. We're just cutting that down so it's easier to eat later on. And we just top with our mushrooms and chickpeas, and then you can use like a lemon juice and olive oil dressing for this, or you could look at a balsamic and olive oil dressing. Now to make the green salad, very simply, just going to cut down the lettuce, red peppers, and cucumber. You don't have to cut it in the exact same way I've done if you prefer not to, but this is just how I prefer to do it, especially with taking the seeds out of the cucumber. Just helps to stop it becoming soggy in a couple of days, so you don't have to eat it immediately. And then with everything on top, we're just adding in our keftas. And then for reheating, the simplest thing to do is just take the meat out, warm that separately, and then mix the salad and add it back in. And that's it, you're all done. That's another week of meal prep on the Gut Health program.
Okay, here we are. Another cooking session completed. That was week 3 of the Gut Health program. Again, same as before, you know what you're in for. You've got everything prepped and ready to go. It's just keep you happy, healthy, full of energy. These dishes will set you up for the whole week. Don't even have to worry about any cooking. Everything you need is right inside your fridge. So I'll see you next week for the final installment in the Gut Health program. Bye.